What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Shopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks MLB. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. I think I'm just going to change this to a homers only program because at this point in time, it's getting downright ridiculous. Jordan Alvarez, Elly De La Cruz, right off the bat, both of them going yard off of the premium betting card. Absurd stuff. I'm not betting 15 home runs a day and just celebrating the 2 that I hit with you. It's 2 out of 5. Like, we're talking a ridiculous number of these home runs that are coming to fruition. I ended up on Jock. We talked about that on the video. We had a couple of games that ended up getting, it's not even rained out, not even snowed out. It was smoked out. They had a barbecue up there in New York and Philadelphia, so no Kyle Schwarber home run with the Philadelphia money line. We'll talk about this spot, assuming that those games are playing. Again, we have a doubleheader on tap for the Yankees. I'm going to talk through it. We just got lines for that first game, so fingers crossed, everybody. If you're in New York, stay safe. If you're in Philadelphia, stay safe. Maybe a little bit less because I care about New York more than Philly. But either way, that's a conversation for a different day. BetMGM's a conversation for this right here and now. You guys sign up in the video description box below. I know you have your DraftKings sportsbooks, your FanDuel sportsbooks, but if you haven't signed up at BetMGM right now, great couple of promotions like, I don't know, my premium betting card for 2 months, completely free when you check it out. Again, these home run props are just getting absurd. Pete Alonso just saw his x-rays are negative. Those are great pieces of news to see while you're on this. Oh yeah, I'm getting sidetracked because my head's all over the place today, but getting ready to watch a little bit of NBA. And hey, you get my NBA betting card here for the BetMGM as well. Can we get a Nikola Jokic triple-double? We're back on that horse, also on the over 50.5 PRA. That'll be a fun one to watch here. So yeah, do that. Sign up at BetMGM. Get access to that here. It's only if you're 21 and over, and if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. But you also get a bet where if it doesn't hit the first time out of the gate, if you bet $100, you'll get $100 back in bonus bets, all the way up to $1,000. Again, it starts with like $10. You can put $10 on it and check out BetMGM. Thank you so much to them for their sponsorship of our lovely little program. But this is a bigger Thursday slate. Normally Thursdays are a little bit of a respite for me. Producer Jacob and I, we generally enter very zen, knowing that we only have 6 or 7 games and it's going to be easy. Fuck no, we have a bajillion games and a doubleheader, and it's just whatever. You know what, Producer Jacob, let's get ourselves to the picks. We're starting off with a doozy. It's Dodgers, it's Reds. Runs have been in store in this series. I was on the over. One guy decided to DM me, what a terrible play, the Dodgers. Well, they're not going to keep this going. Oh, the Reds, they're not very good. Elly De La Cruz looks like he's pretty good. De La Cruz, again, I love Coco. It's the best Disney movie other than Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, you heard it here first. Pirates of the Caribbean. You best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Turner. If only Justin Turner still played for the Dodgers, that would have been a great bit. But alas, we're going to Clayton Kershaw on the mound. He's still pretty good at baseball. Going up against Graham Ashcraft. And Clayton Kershaw, he's immortal. 33.9% hard hit percentage, 30% K rate. Still making it work. The slider, still sliding. Curveball, still curving. Four-seamer never really has the velocity. That's not really what you're playing Clayton Kershaw or backing Clayton Kershaw for. Low 90s, doesn't matter because he does everything else at the most elite level on the planet. Yes, he is probably, if I had to pick one pitcher in their prime over the course of the last 20 years, it's him and Jacob deGrom. And well, one of them, well, neither of them are the healthiest human beings on planet Earth, but shout out Jacob deGrom. Saw he had season-ending injury there. What a bummer for Texas at 40-20 entering today. Oh, what a bummer. That would be a baseball team to watch come postseason time. Well, the Dodgers will still be a team to watch come postseason time on the other side of this one. So Graham Ashcraft, he's in a real tough spot. 284 expected batting average, just a 17.3% K rate. Gets to face the absolute litany of bats that they have there on the left side of the plate. In fact, the Dodgers, I think we've covered this one quite a bit, but in case you lived underneath a rock, or as Jewel would say, in case you failed to notice, in case you failed to see, this is my heart bleeding for you. 208 ISO. Those are bats bleeding and putting you on your knees. 114 WRC plus. Those are foolish games, that's for sure. And they are breaking me apart and making me bet the over of 10. Why is the over under of 10? I get it, because Clayton Kershaw is freaking ridiculous, but De La Cruz, I know, he left on left. We're going to find out how good he could be against, I don't know, probably one of the top 3 left-handed pitchers of all time. Randy Johnson, Clayton Kershaw. It's 1-2. Anyway, over a 10, that's what I'm liking. Half unit. Another spot where runs were at a premium on Monday, slowed down after a big first inning there. Arizona, Washington. That's going to be another one to keep our eyes on, but a little bit better pitching situation running into this one than you had on Tuesday. It's Merrill Kelly, my boy, going up against Josiah Gray. Now, Merrill Kelly, we'll say, he slowed down a little bit. It started to come, not to a screeching halt, but a 10% walk rate, at least something to be paying attention to. But he gets to face Washington. He has a 27.6% K rate, a 37.2% hard hit percentage. And Washington, again, they just don't hit the ball very hard. A 123 ISO against right-handed pitching and just an 88 WRC plus. What a great spot to be backing our guy. And Josiah Gray. I have liked Josiah Gray's strikeout stuff from time to time, but it is way down this year. 19% for a strikeout rate with an 11.4% walk rate. The guy just throws sliders. I mean, that's his primary pitch. He's not a fastball heavy guy by any means, although now his fastball is about equal throwing as what he has for his slider, which is a little bit surprising. The sinker being his primary pitch, I suppose, in 2023. Interesting stuff as you break down Josiah Gray. And well, against Arizona, where we have seen the likes of Corbin Carroll and some of these other bats really come to fruition with a 174 ISO against right-handed pitching, just a 19.3% K rate. Oh boy, yeah. Arizona, pretty easy play for me to add to the card. Minus 140 on the money line over at DraftKings Sportsbook. Thought about locking it, just going to be a leg for me here on the muted Thursday slate. I feel like I've just been avoiding this series like the plague, and sometimes that's a good decision, especially when your team just keeps getting walloped. And now we put another one of our core starters, Bailey Ober, who's had a phenomenal season compared to my expectations for him. He's on the mound against, well, a big question mark. We don't know exactly what's going to be showing up here from the Tampa Bay side, but as it is on the sportsbook sides, even though it's not a confirmed starter, I want to repeat that, not a confirmed starter. We're going to have a lot of that coming in the next couple of weeks. So as always, hit me up on Twitter at Eric Lindquist, EricLindquist. Look at that. I can spell my own name. It's also on the bottom bar. So just follow me there. I have my own Twitter. It's great stuff. I'll respond. I made that sound like whatever. I made it sound like I'm an Instagram dog. I've got my own Twitter. It's cool. Be weird if a dog actually said that, but I'm thinking it ends up being Tyler Glass now, which makes a very interesting situation. He has now had 2 starts, and this is an arm that I've generally tried to back quite a bit. The walks are kind of an interesting thing, and when a guy gets Tommy John surgery, and well, he pitched without the sticky stuff here now for the first 2 times, we've seen 14 strikeouts in these 9 2/3 innings so far, so that's fantastic. Nice to see that show up post-sticky stuff, but he had his Tommy John surgery because he talked about the ramifications of them just removing it, going cold turkey on these pitchers, and he was probably the guy who got most punished for it. Yeah, now they add a shot clock to these dudes. It's wild stuff. Pitch clocks, excuse me. But anyway, I am a little bit trepidatious here in trying to go overboard, but this has more to do with the fact that I think there may be value, and I can't believe I'm going to say this because I have been the biggest I've had a lot of scrutiny against Bailey Ober. I don't know a better way to say that. 34.1% hard hit percentage, 226 expected batting average, and a 6.2% walk rate. Yes, this is the inferno that is the Tampa Bay side. A 126 WRC plus, which is best in baseball going up against righties. Really good stuff that we've seen from Tampa Bay time and time again. But I think you're going to see this line get bet even further from where it's at. So I don't do this very often. Normally, I just saying. It's a lean. We'll just leave it at that. Plus 146. But the reason it's not a like, even though I have a small play on this right now, is because I want you to wait. I want this to be north of plus 150. Now, again, I have a quarter unit that I throw in. Who gives a shit? It's whatever. But plus 146, I think that number is going to get even wider as we get into Thursday. Hopefully the public steams them up. Can we get those Rays up to like minus 180, minus 190? Give me some plus 155 or something on the Twin side. That would be lovely. But otherwise, I think I'm more than fine just staying away from this game entirely again. Baltimore, Milwaukee. Again, there's a lot of really unappealing spots, I think, on this slate. We want to pick our spots, and this just isn't one of them. Kyle Bradish, never my favorite. These Baltimore ones, we generally want to target them, but the problem is Colin Rea is just so bad on the other side for Milwaukee as well. Let's start with Kyle Bradish with his 45.6% hard hit percentage, 274 expected batting average, throws 5 different pitches, all in about, it's like 10% plus of each one across the board. If you got 5 pitches, you got no pitches. Just is what it is. Unless you're, mixing up arm deliveries and doing weird Johnny Cueto stuff. Remember when Johnny Cueto started for Miami at the beginning of the season? I know he's hurt. He's always hurt. Is what it is. That's what happens when you pitch when you're 80 years old. But either way, Colin Rea on the other side, I'm just not a big fan of trying to back him going up against this Baltimore side. I think Baltimore is a team that we had been hammering in that Toronto series, and that worked out really, really nicely. But since then, it looks like we just kind of cooled our jets, mainly because that starting rotation is so hard to get behind. I can totally get behind Baltimore's bullpen. They have some pieces, my friend. My God. But Milwaukee on this side, 4.51 expected ERA for Colin Rea. It's a little bit better than his 4.94 ERA. But I look at the 93 mile per hour fastball that doesn't have a ton of movement to it. There's no plus pitches, has a sinker as his primary pitch that currently 10.7% whiff percentage. Not a whole lot happening in that department. Wants to get to that sweeper. But yeah, 6 total pitches? I thought he just had 5. He has 6 total pitches in the repertoire. Wild stuff from Colin Rea. Not my favorite backing here whatsoever. Think that if I had to do anything, I would just target both the pitchers and the over, but at 8.5. And then what happens is you get it juiced up through the moon when you're looking at an 8.5. This is at 9 at almost every other book besides FanDuel. It's minus 128 on the over of 8.5. So I think this is just another spot that caution is the better side of valor, or whatever the fuck Shakespeare says. I've said the F word twice today. I don't normally say that. I'm a bad kid. Over 8.5, just a lean. Hey, there we go. I'm a good kid. Let's take a look at Coors Field, shall we? It is an afternoon game at Coors, which always kind of perks up my interest a little bit. Always look at the weather, and it is expected to be 70 and a little bit cool, possible chance of rain. You always get those pop-ups in Colorado and Atlanta and some of these ballparks. When are we just going to get retractable roofs? Every ballpark. Maybe not Fenway or, Yankee Stadium's brand new. Don't have a roof for that thing. I don't know what we're doing here. All I know is that it's the year of our Lord 2023, and we can get retractable roofs in every single stadium. I have no idea what's going on, but Alex Cobb, I have an idea what's going on with him. He's been much improved here as the season has gone along. Really enjoy what we're seeing out of him outside of that Milwaukee outing, which Zoinks, that was a little bit of a brutal one 2 starts ago. But other than that, he's gone 7 innings in 3 of his last 5 starts with a bunch of ground balls. This ground ball rate is starting to take off, and that gets me excited because the K's will come along for the ride as well. These hitters try to force an issue, try to loft it into the air. Well, in Colorado, you need to have the ground ball rate. So I really like to see that as kind of a little bit of a muted upside. And I think that kind of creates an issue when you start looking at a 12 and an 11.5 total. Yes, do great pitchers get lit up from time to time at Coors, the best hitters ballpark in baseball? Absolutely. But him and Chase Anderson, I think have a chance to at least succeed here. And I think the case is a little bit more clear for how Alex Cobb gets by. 1, he's really good. 2, this Colorado lineup is just dog doo-doo. And Chase Anderson, though, as the starting pitcher, do I expect this to maintain where he can just have a 1.69 ERA? Absolutely not. He's got a 4.61 expected ERA. He hasn't had a ton of these home starts that I think are going to just punish him. He's 35 years old. He throws a mid to low 90s fastball that doesn't really have any movement to it. Has just an 11.9% K rate, which is one of the worst marks in all of pitchers for a starting pitcher in baseball. Just saying, it's a much tougher case for Chase Anderson, but because I like Alex Cobb so much, instead of trying to be backing him currently, the Giants, minus 180 over on the money line. I don't think I want to be trying to make a run line play, even though we do see those spreads as more of an aggressive spot to be taken. But you see just minus 125, minus 124 best available numbers over on that run line right now. I think I'm going to bypass that entirely and hope that somehow, some way, Chase Anderson does not get murdered by these lefties that have reemerged, whether it's Lamont Wade, Mike Yastrzemski back in the lineup, Jock Peterson been back for a couple days now. The San Francisco team does have a 112 WRC plus against righties, and I'm a little nervous about it, but yet there's enough buffer there, under 12, that I like it for our slate on Thursday. It looked like the scene of Blade Runner 2. Maybe they could have shot Blade Runner 3 there if they ended up firing up that game. But alas, no baseball happened in Yankee Stadium. It's supposedly happening tomorrow. So I repeat, if you have questions about any of the lines or if anything just disappears and you need to know something that's going on for tomorrow, hit me up on Twitter at Eric Lindquist. I'm happy to let you know what I bet. The easiest way, of course, is to jump into that premium Discord by signing up at BetMGM, get those 2 free months, or there's a link below too. You can sign up. Come join us today. Great community, great people, and hey, we're hitting every home run prop, it would seem. It's just absurd. This is unsustainable. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. This has been an unsustainable run, but I've been running so bad in some of the other facets of baseball this year. Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm okay with it. But I digress, friends. We are looking at an interesting spot where Lance Lynn is now assumed to be game 1, going up against Luis Severino here in this one. And I repeat, this is something that could change. They can easily move these guys around. And also, you don't always know exactly what these lineups are going to end up looking like. So I want to at least throw both of those stipulations out before we break down the pitchers. Now, Lance Lynn, for game 1, 6.55 ERA, 1.52 whip. We talked about him quite a bit yesterday. I was going to take a shot on the Chicago White Sox money line, considering I thought it was a little bit of an overvalued situation going up against Vasquez. Well, it's even more of an overvalued situation considering he's going up against Luis Severino here in this spot, who is just starting to get his sea legs back under him, up where they walk. A little bit of Little Mermaid for everybody there, but he's had 3 starts, 5.28 ERA, 1.24 whip. The walks have been up, and then you saw that Dodger outing, which, again, in Dodger Stadium, gives up 7 earned. They murder every righty. It's not that strange of a coincidence. So I will say there is a pretty good chance that he'll get by this one somewhat unscathed, but the value just exists. And we got this line dropping right before this program got announced. I had this as a Chicago White Sox money line lean. I think it's going to probably turn itself into a play here in quick order. So I think for game 1, assume you get some semblance of that Chicago White Sox money line, lineup. I don't know why I said money line there. As long as you get some semblance of their regular lineup for game 1, that they're not resting anybody for that game 2, I think you're just fine firing that one up. And plus, do you expect Stanton to play both sides of this one? I actually don't. So I think that's kind of another piece of news that I'm going to be paying close attention to. You have Aaron Judge on the IL, Harrison Bader on the IL. Stanton, I don't think plays both games of this set. Maybe they DH him and I'm wrong about that, but I'm going to be paying very close attention. I think there are some small edges to mine out of this one. We're going to lean White Sox money line, but this could very well turn into a play for everybody. Again, at Eric Lindquist, hit me up. And before we get to game 2, let's talk a little BetMGM, shall we? Again, BetMGM, why wouldn't you want to get my betting card every single day so you can fact check my home run plays yourself? Because again, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why they keep hitting at this kind of a rate. Today, Jordan Alvarez hits a lot of home runs, so I'm not going to go out of my way and brag about that, and Pete Alonso and guys of that nature. But then you got Ellie De La Cruz right off the bat. The guy is just smashing baseballs, and it's like the books just want to hang up a plus 400 anything on that dude. What are we doing here? In Cincinnati, too? Telling you, we're getting really good reads there in that premium Discord, but it's not just the MLB streets and NBA streets and myself there, but it's Ben Raza, who covers everything in the college landscape, has been smashing the College Baseball World Series. We've got Isaiah Suarez, who covers all of the NASCAR. We have our guy, Eitan, who covers every parlay underneath the sun and really will show you how to use all of the tools over here at OddsShopper, which you can also sign up for in that video description box below. But you're going to get 2 months of all of us. Yes, all of us underneath the same branch. It's great stuff. Then you also get that you get that first bet over at BetMGM, where if it doesn't hit, you get the money back in bonus bets up to $1,000. So if you put $50 on a money line that I recommend today and it doesn't hit, you're going to get $50 back in bonus bets. And that's a phenomenal deal. And that's how you build and sustain your bankroll, by signing up at a bunch of these sports books. So maybe do that. That's my idea. It's just signing up for as many of these things as you possibly can. So whether it's pick'em sites where you're playing your underdogs, your prize picks, wherever it is, if you're in one of those non-legal states, but if you're in these legal states, to check out BetMGM, I'm telling you, one of the best sports books, period, when it comes to golf odds, when it comes to batter props, when it comes to NBA money lines. So please check it out. BetMGM, only if you're 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. To game 2 we go in Yankee Stadium, assuming that happens. It's probably going to happen. Only you can prevent forest fires, unless you're in Canada. Hey, I did sing Blame Canada yesterday. I kind of predicted this one. A little bit of foreshadowing there. See, I can predict stuff correctly from time to time. But either way, we got Mike Clevenger, the assumed starter for game 2 here for the White Sox, going up against the dude that was supposed to start on Tuesday, or on Wednesday is today, Randy Vasquez. He's getting moved to the game 2. And, well, I don't really like Randy Vasquez's stuff. Again, he survived against San Diego, 84 pitches. 6 Ks was nice. I just don't really think that he's all that good. We saw him at AAA Scranton, kind of cited all of those numbers. 4.85 ERA over 42 2/3 innings. He's young. He's definitely got some work to do. And this is obviously a good spot facing a White Sox offense that, well, they don't add a whole lot of punch at the plate. We're talking a 141 ISO, 81 WRC plus, and well, Eric, you're going against Severino. Now you're looking at going against Vasquez. Yeah, you're damn right. I absolutely am. I have to lean the White Sox money line at least, mainly because, I repeat, I'd be very surprised if they get the A team playing both of those games. Yes, the Yankees, they are already in some injury situations. You get Josh Donaldson, who's very injury prone. Does he play both sets of it? Be surprised. Stanton for sure is the guy that I've definitely got highlighted start. They have DJ LeMahieu back in the mix. Gleyber Torres, they're starting to get healthier right when they lose Aaron Judge. Hopefully, I mean, I hate the Yankees, but I love Aaron Judge just like everybody else. I hope his big toe isn't completely screwed up. That'll be something to be paying close attention to. But considering I think the Yankees are far more at risk of having guys sit on the second half of the set, White Sox money line, yet another lean. Again, pay attention to the lineups. There's going to be value in some capacity here. One of the other games that was postponed, Detroit going to Philly, round 2 here. They're going to put Zach Wheeler on the mound, the Philadelphia Phillies are, but it sounds as though they're going to get a shift from pitchers. We're going to be looking at Tyler Holton. I had to do a little bit of a deep dive on this cat. I don't really remember him from last year. He only had 159 pitches at the big league level. Did have a 3.54 expected ERA, 4.19 expected ERA so far this season. Went through some of the AAA numbers, and nothing really is all that impressive to me with the name's fantastic. The Toledo Mudhens. Let's go. Yeah, he has 3 wins, but a 7.04 ERA with them, despite a 1.17 whip. It's basically like a reliever arm. I don't think he's going to be very long for this game. I think this is a bullpen type situation, and I think that creates a couple of matchup issues when you're trying to target down exactly what you want to do with Philly, mainly because Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper exist. If they didn't, well, you wouldn't have to think about this so much, but you do get a lefty in Tyler Holton, who is expected to be starting off this game. Again, NA's on the side of the screen. Don't know if this is going to be officially who it is, but they just called him back up, so it's got to probably be Tyler Holton. It's got to probably be. What am I, Yogi Berra? But either way, Tyler Holton, lefty, he'll be starting it off. You switch Schwarber and Harper around. Makes me really want to pay attention to what those home run odds end up at the top of this lineup here. Trey Turner starting to wake up. The weather, outside of the smoke and all the crazy stuff from Canada, the weather is going to start heating up there throughout the month of June into July. Get that humidity up, get that temperature up. Over there in Philadelphia, the ball is going to start flying like it did last year for a lot of those pieces. So Philadelphia -1.5. It's going to be a lean. I doubt with Zach Wheeler on the mound, there's any way, shape, or form that we're going to put a money line play into play, unless you're somebody who wants to back, 250 to win 100. Again, there could still be value there, but more than likely, the lean, the thing I'll be paying attention to is what that run line shows up at. To our one lock of the day we go, and it's been a long time coming. I've been waiting for the spot. I've been praying for the spot. I said, you know what, baseball gods? I haven't been able to bet against Jose Berrios for a long damn time. Now, sometimes it was the matchup he was in. Sometimes it was, hey, I want to see exactly what's going on with Jose Berrios, get a better idea about what's improved, what's happened. Well, none of that really matters when I get to back Framber Valdez inside of -130 against Jose frickin' Berrios. Yes, this Houston lineup. If you don't get Yordan Alvarez in this lineup, I'll be very, very upset. So I am going to be waiting to fully pull the trigger until tomorrow morning. Although, again, have a play on this one immediately here. But Yordan Alvarez, Kyle Tucker, a number of these other pieces. I mean, DeBuan's starting to hit. They ended up leading him off, going Altuve in the 2-hole. Jose Altuve is starting to come back to life. Wake me up inside. God, why is Evanescence in my head? That's terrible stuff. You know who also has terrible stuff? Jose Berrios. See, it comes full circle. I always find a way out of these problems. 31.7% hard hit percentage is really good by him so far this season. So I took a deep dive into what's happening. Why does he have that and a 23.1% K rate? Friends, have you seen some of these matchups so far this season for Jose Berrios? At Minnesota, Tampa Bay, New York Mets. So those were far more difficult ones. But early on this year, Kansas City, we saw the White Sox, we saw the Angels when they had a couple of guys dinged up. So we'll throw that out there. Pittsburgh, it's been a random assortment, and it seems as though he's massively improved. Again, he's only given up 2 earned in his last 3 outings, on the road in all 3. Going back into Toronto, all of a sudden I want to pull the trigger here. Yeah, I do. Mainly because a lot of those teams that I just listed off, they basically do not have the kind of lefties that you have in specifically Yordan Alvarez and Kyle Tucker. You get Alex Bregman into the mix. You get Jeremy Pena, Jose Altuve. We are seeing a almost perfectly healthy Houston Astros team. Michael Brantley sounds like he's going to start putting in some work right about now. I know that he had started doing some tee practice. Sounds like he's going to be on the field practicing a little bit. Going to be fun to see him inserted into this offense instead of just like your random Chas McCormick's and Corey Julks, even though he's been pretty good so far this season. Both of them kind of have. Even Jake Myers hasn't been a complete nothing in that outfield. The only nothing that we see routinely is Martin Maldonado in the catcher position here with Houston. Could you imagine if Christian Vasquez had actually worked out after that trade last year? Well, he did, I suppose. They won a freaking World Series. Still not happy about it. But I'd be very happy if they won this one. Yes, it's a difficult spot going up against Toronto, no doubt about it. But there is no way that I am not pulling the trigger here with Framber Valdez, the ground ball king himself, said he's got the profile of a guy who could go out and win you an AL Cy Young this year. There's no doubt about it. The 26.9% K rate, 308 xWOBA, and the ground ball rate that is ever so present there. Even with the 46.4% hard hit percentage, if the ball's going on the ground like it does 60.6% of the time when it's put in play, you're going to succeed. And so Framber Valdez, I think, really has good stuff in this spot. I think you get just enough off of Berrios. I'm going to be locking that one in, but I'm throwing in the bonus play too. And this is why I put this as a lean, is that you need Yordan Alvarez in this lineup. Just saying, he's played a lot of days in a row. Just want to be very clear that I don't want to hear, Eric, I bet the Houston money line on your lock and you suck. And the main component, the main hitter I want in that lineup is out of it for some reason on a Thursday before they start traveling. So throwing it out there, last game of the series, Yordan Alvarez to home run is a lean, but it's mainly there. So I remind you, Houston money line is completely dependent upon him. That was kind of a new one. I kind of liked the way that I did that, just being able to explain the process of it, mainly because, well, he's the best lefty in baseball. You heard me. It's just what it is. Anyway, let's talk Boston. Let's talk Cleveland. Let's talk another lefty slash righty. Oh, what am I saying? Oh, yeah, switch hitters. Those are always fun. Boston, Cleveland. We've got Aaron Savale on the mound going up against something named a Matt Dermody, who I had to go on another deep dive. A lot of really strange pitching situations that we're running into here on this slate. Now, he's another guy that, remind me if you've heard this before today, we are not positive that he is going to be starting, but he just got recalled here from AAA. Doesn't have the old best of stuff, and you know what? Of course I X'd out of his page. Of course I did. The dog was yelling at me. My wife's unhappy with me, even though she loves me. She thinks I'm cute sometimes. Not today. We're talking about a dude who so far in 2020, well, in 2022 it was, did not have the best of stuff. 18 ERA, 28.37 expected ERA. That's horrible. Just 26 pitches. Has never really had any kind of a major stint in the majors, but with the Worcester Red Sox, yeah, Worcester Red Sox, that's good stuff. He has had 9 games that he's appeared, 8 starts, 1.34 whip. We're talking 44 innings pitched, 47 strikeouts in those 44 innings. So that's decent enough, but I just don't really find him to be all that appealing of a pitcher to be backing by in any way, shape, or form. So from the left side there, he's going to have a matchup going up against Josh Bell, some of these other righties, and there's not a lot of righties I love from this Cleveland side. There's no doubt about that. You have Jose Ramirez, who, switch hits as well, kind of runs himself around on both sides of the plate. Ahmed Rosario with a 46% hard hit percentage isn't so bad, but it neutralizes Josh Naylor's been just neutralized against lefties for the most part. A lot of times not even in the lineup. That's where I think Josh Bell is kind of an interesting cat to get to. He's got a 340 xWOBA, 259 expected batting average, which are both numbers that are increasing from the right side of the plate. So I'm thinking Josh Bell over 1.5 total bases, barring something ridiculous where for whatever reason he'd be outside of plus 110. I don't know why he would be, but that's the break-even number I have on it. I think you have this open somewhere around plus 135, which would just be awesome in this spot. So we're going to be targeting this Michael McDermott fellow, Matt Dermody. There we go. Found it. Yeah. Josh Bell over 1.5 total bases might be some value there. Again, this is a very big stretch of a lean. A very big stretch of a lean. That's not so good English, Eric. New York Mets facing the Atlanta Braves here, and we have a play here. In fact, this is going to be your last play of the day. We'll talk through that Chicago Cubs LA Angels game to round it all off, but we talked about it yesterday. The pitching matchup I was looking forward to wasn't necessarily Scherzer and Mr. Charlie Morton today. Didn't really end up targeting anything there, but I am going to be looking at Justin Verlander and Spencer Strider going at it in this one. Spencer Strider, he's been the better of the two by a landslide so far this season. We're talking a 260 xWOBA, 177 expected batting average, and a 40.6% K rate. He is so damn good. Oh, and he has 2 pitches, 4-seamer slider. The changeup he barely ever throws. He throws it ahead and counts just to screw with people and just remind them that he's their daddy. But a 60% fastball rate here, 34% slider usage, and both those pitches are just frickin' nasty, bro. Justin Verlander, though, he's 100 years old and he's married to Kate, what's her name? Kate Upton. She's kind of attractive. 3.72 expected ERA, 4.25 actual ERA this season. You kind of know what you're getting with Justin Verlander. You're getting good stuff. He's 40 years old. He's still putting it together. Although, it's a pretty terrifying spot here. An 8.5 is kind of a surprising number. I expected to lock it when I immediately looked at it. Plugged it into the spreadsheet, 7.8 runs. So that falls into the light category. Going to just be a half unit on the under. 2 very dangerous offenses, no doubt about it. But I still think it's worth a play on the under considering the quality of these pitchers. In the last game of the night, said it before, I don't really like it. We got Drew Smyly. He's just being Smiley. Reed Detmers on the other side of this one for the Angels. And, well, a couple of southpaws that I don't find to be all that appealing. Drew Smiley's been very much improved. Reed Detmers far less so. Let's start with him, actually. 4.48 expected ERA, 5.15 actual ERA. The launch angle is always what I'm worried about. He's in a ballpark that I think people don't realize how homer-friendly Angel Stadium, and it's not because of Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani and Hunter Renfroe and all the power up and down that Angels lineup, but has everything to do with expected home runs. Go plug that into Baseball Savant. Look at some of the charts through Angel Stadium, one of the more homer-friendly ballparks in all of baseball for everybody, not just the guys who automatically hit home runs. Pretty wild stuff. And now you get a couple of righties you got to be freaked out about from the Cubs side. Guys who aren't very good against good pitchers, but the Patrick Wisdoms of the world. Dansby Swanson is always good. You got Chris Morel, who will probably be in this lineup batting 9th for whatever frickin' reason all the time. Ian Happ, Nico Horner will be for sure leading off here for the Cubbies. Lots of pieces here that I think are at least interesting to look at some batting props from. but I don't have a play on this game considering I still don't know what to make of some of these improvements that Drew Smyly's made. Now, normally, Eric, it's June 8th. How do you not have a concept for it? Mainly because you have a sample size of a guy for so long, and you try to figure out what changed. Why does he have a 3.29 expected ERA when he had 4.17, 5.05 the previous 2 seasons? And then the hard hit has gone down to 30.7%, where the previous 2 years, 35.6, 39%. Because then I go through the pitch type. I go through pitch tracking. They're on pretty much the identical exact combination of pitches he has his entire career. 2023, 49.4% curveball usage, 43% sinker usage. Well, 43 and 37 respectively for those usages in 2022. Small little inversion there. And the spin rate is actually down this year in 2023. So sometimes it could just be, hey, it's been cold in Chicago here for quite a while. You get him outside of that home stadium, you get him to LA. Basically, I'm just waiting for a longer sample size. Let's get to the summer months and see how Drew Smyly's still performing, shall we? Shall we? I think we shall, my friends. This is going to be a complete stay away for me. Over 9 if you must. Maybe be looking at some righty power, even though Drew Smyly, I repeat, that hard hit percentage, 30.7%, pretty tough to want to be firing up against. Maybe Patrick Wisdom to home run. I did throw out Jordan Alvarez. It's just a throwaway home run play yesterday. Yeah, Patrick Wisdom. We'll throw that out there. Give me something nice. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks in the MLB streets. You know what to do. Go to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays on the slate here for Thursday. We're going to be adding NBA Lindy's back on Friday. I'm got to get out of here. I got to go watch this game 3 for sure. Come on, Joker. Get it done for us. Smash all your props. That would be nice. Again, this will be done by the time you hear this, and it's pointless of me sweating stuff live. It's got to be pretty annoying. I'll stop doing it. Nope, never. Won't stop it. Can't stop, won't stop. Just like I should probably stop doing this, but it's fun. Should I keep going? Yeah. Let's get ourselves out of here, shall we? Check out BetMGM. Check out all the great stuff in that video description box below. And then I'll be back with you on Friday from a different location. I'm heading up to Napa for a wedding. Gonna sit up there and sip a little wine, live my life. That's really all I got for you. Till next time, my friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Thursday.